come with the
Mm.
those certain cosmetics. They come with moisturizers of different brands, and then
Right.
they flip through the book and they say that, oh, this is very good, or this is good. I tend to ask them, so what exactly does this ingredient do? They don't know. It's
Okay.
all those system that they've been brain trained, or they've been sales trained
Mm.
to speak to us in a particular way. It's all out there in Google. It's just that we genuinely put everything on table. We discuss with the clients, we inform the client well. I always tell my team, give them the right awareness. They might just go here and there, it's in your body. And for example, I can tell you about my results. The zinc in my body is 90% excess. So, and I still don't
Okay.
understand why is that, but my hair was still thinning out. That my hair was not falling off, but it is still thinning out.
Mm.
I'm less of a medical professional because I'm an entrepreneur. Like,
Mm.
I'm a business owner. Uh, I hope and pray that everyone starts a business of theirs own. So you wouldn't have time for anything.
It's a trend nowadays where a youth is moving abroad. Hello, welcome to Thinking Outside the Box by RX Global. I'm Dr. Krishnendu R. Nair, and today we have with us Dr. Fatima Nilufer Sheriff, the founder and CEO of Therefore. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here.
So, my first question to you is, as a doctor and as a woman, two groups often underrepresented in the business world, what inspired you to choose this less traveled path?
As a doctor and a woman,
Yes,
which one do you want me to speak first, doctor or the woman part of it?
whichever one you like, ma'am.
Going by your order, doctor, well, I could just probably see it's only in such interviews I sort of think back on things, what I've done, or the decisions that I've taken. So, looking at it as a doctor, why didn't I take up an unconventional pathway? Could be because I had one, I think I had a self realization that I have particularly nothing to contribute personally into the field of medicine, clearly. You're a doctor yourself, so you know how you learn something out of the textbook, and then you wait for certain opportunities or cases to come our way to be an expert on that. And but it's like a trade off. But I personally wanted to have a freedom of work, or thoughts, contribute something to the field of medicine. In the field of medicine, you're talking about such a wide industry that you need that sort of an exposure and talent to contribute something personally of yours to that field. I did not have that sort of a talent, and I don't think I was in that right environment of an exposure. You need to be an environment of research for for yourself to contribute into that system. So I was very sure that I wouldn't be happy just being someone like how you have named your podcast, thinking out of the box. I wanted to be out of the box. I did not want a normalcy. So that could be a prominent reason I would say that I took an unconventional pathway. Second, being a woman, um, I have to admit, I have to be really thankful to my family. When I say just not my parents, when I say family, just not my Upanuma, I have to really admit my extended family too. I've been extremely lucky to have born into such a family where they empower women. They always encourage one as a woman, to stand for yourself, to be financially, have your own freedom, have a voice in the family, or you can express your thoughts. I've always been that lucky. So I think whenever you've been molded in your during your childhood, they keep saying a lot of stories where such people, when they become successful, or when such successful people are always respected. It's not per se about the money. Money is always said to be the byproduct of your success, but you've always heard a lot of, or seen in your family, a lot of successful people, and I've always been a dreamer that I want to be like them. Look at how they've been respected in the family, or how they enjoy certain privilege and all that. So I've always looked up to certain people in the family. I've drawn inspiration out of that. And whenever I hear stories about them, I want to be that hero in the story. So I think it was there naturally, and the family also has contributed. So it's that want in me, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Uh, Everyone wants to look their best all the time. Uh, you are familiar with these words. It's the
Yeah,
words of
it's my
your
job.
father.
Yeah.
Yes. And it has been a significant motivator for you. So, was cosmetology always your dream, like even during medical school? Or is it something that evolved along your journey? Could you please talk
No,
about that?
clearly evolved, because when I was see, I did my MBBS when I was at my 2002, a long time back. Cosmetology or aesthetic business was never, or the industry was never known to us. It was never familiar to our part of the world. It was very common in US. It was very common in the West, or maybe some part of the Southeast, all those Singapore or Korea and all that. So it wasn't very familiar um, industry in our part. So it's definitely evolved. I got to know about all this only after my MBBS, when I was holidaying with my family in the West. I came across such a system where it was run by doctors. Got really fascinated how glamorous they were looking. And, I've always had an eye for detail. I think I jokingly tell people, you cannot be taught, a sense of styling, or you can't study dress sense. I always say that aesthetic sense is something that you're born with. Of course, if you have an eye for detail, or you are a good keen observer, you can sort of imitate certain sense, but I always feel that it has to be there in your genes. And touch what I think we have it, and I have to keep it very humble. I don't want to shout out that I think I have a great sense of a great aesthetic sense, but I think I've always been appreciated for certain sense of styling that I have, or certain aesthetic sense that I have. I think I always had it in me, but I never knew there was such an industry. But when we were holidaying, like I said, um, I came across such a thing, and I knew that doctors can do this, and that's how I sort of stepped into that field. But then I wasn't sure of which path to take. How do I do it? I did my MBBS in India. How do I reach to that industry? There was not much of formal college that would help us to gain that sort of degree. So I went to Trivandrum. I interned under a very famous dermatologist there. He was at that point of time did quite a bit of cosmetology, not like how advanced it is right now, but he was very involved. We used to get a lot of patients from Maldives at that point of time. So that also helped me to understand their skin signs of someone from Maldives. Some clients from Maldives, and how the doctor tried to treat that with lasers and not with conventional ointments and all that. So that was a good. I have to really give it to him for opening up my brain and thoughts, ideas to completely step into cosmetology.
Okay. Defrime is one of the leading cosmetology brands in India, and it
Thank you.
exudes confidence in the very name. In your personal case, Dr. Nilufer, you have overcome big challenges. You have gone abroad for pursuing your studies, and you have managed to reach a top position in your career. So, how do you manage to accomplish all these? Does the brand name represent Dr. Nilufer Sheriff?
You have too many questions in that side, but picking one by one, I think the last one to begin
Yes.
with, whether did you ask Dr. Nilofer
Yeah. Does a
represent?
brand name represent you?
Of course, I'm the only founder. Like, as in, I don't
Mm,
have a co-founder per se. We
yes.
started off with a different brand name.
Mm,
It was my conscious decision to
mm,
change the brand name
mm,
because we wanted to go global, and
mm,
our
mm.
old name was Hair Fair.
Yes.
But did you ask that? Does my ideology, does it match with
Yes, of
Durfara?
course, from your
It does, it
personal
does,
life.
it
Yeah.
does. Yeah, nobody's asked me this. When, if I have to think, yes. Well, if you see me as a very confident person, thank you. But yes, therefore, I'm as a very confident brand. It definitely shouts out. Lot of confidence. We're very strong that way. The name itself stands apart. It also shows that no matter what you think about yourself, therefore I am. We don't want to come up with a gold standard of beauty. Our very own thought is our existence, and that's therefore I am. So coming up with such a strong ideology I could say I really don't want to take the whole credit when it comes to just the for we did have a very strong branding team coming on board to rewrite the entire process and rewrite the entire changes. So I have to give it to them. But definitely, I was the only person who picked that brand name out of the options that they gave because I clearly related to it. I think no matter what, it did resonate with me. So I think, yeah, answering to your question, I think yes. I think we're very closely related, Dr. Nilofer, and therefore I'm yes. It really shouts out the same ideology and culture.
Okay.
I think so.
Yes.
And there was a couple of other questions. I'm so sorry, but I did
No,
not.
I think you answered everything.
Thank you.
Yes. Moving on to talk about your entrepreneurial journey, it has been an inspiration for many young medical professionals, especially women. And there are many medicos who want to venture outside the traditional path of medicine and discover entrepreneurship in medical field. So, what advice do you want to give them, and what is the first step that they need to take?
If somebody wants to be an entrepreneur in the field of medicine, you being a doctor yourself, like I said, that's a very vast industry. You can contribute in different segment. Being an entrepreneur, you can probably contribute to software systems, you can contribute to a diagnostic systems, you can contribute to operational systems, you can come up with this that's such a wide um, contributions you can make. You just have to choose your path. Like
Mm,
whenever there is a younger person coming on board to our office,
mm,
I'd always like to give them a chance or an
mm,
exposure to different departments, like from customer care to R&D to, let's say, from operations to HR to finance to everything. But because younger people, honestly, I don't think they understand what are they good at. Because in India, they you don't have much of such educational systems where you also understand what's your strength,
yeah,
or what exactly are you good at, or what is that particular talent that you have that can
very
be
true.
mentored and all that. So
Mm,
I think it's very important when somebody comes on board, especially when you're not that seasoned person, when
mm,
somebody of 40 plus who's got some 10 years plus experience
mm,
coming on board. I don't take that interest to show them multiple departments or give them a chance
mm,
to expose,
mm,
give them that exposure. But when it comes to younger people, I always try and do that.
mm,
Likewise, in an entrepreneur coming to the field of medicine, I think for you to have an understanding, you will have to work for some time in a health sector, in a corporate, where they have multiple line of medical systems going on board,
mm,
where you will also have to be a part of the operations, understand how the system works, or is there a particular area that you're interested in, and then you can develop it. So coming back to your question, I think if somebody want to contribute to a field of medicine, the first start is to probably work in an established healthcare system,
mm.
and you will know where exactly you want to be a pioneer.
Okay, all right. Now let's talk about cosmetology. Cosmetology is a field where individuals of various backgrounds come together, like doctors, nurses, and
Hmm.
various other
Hmm.
professionals.
Dentists and
Yes,
homeopaths, and yeah,
correct.
a lot of them
Yes,
now. Yeah.
yes. So, what do you think about this trend? Is it something to be encouraged or something to be cautious about?
You got to be cautious because see, there are a lot of doctors who are not very happy in what I'm doing, because I encourage a lot of dentists
Mm,
on board, is because I feel they're very good at facial anatomy.
mm,
They're very good in facial contouring. Their
mm,
aesthetic sense is way ahead of a, than an average medical
mm,
student. So, but then I have myself received a lot of criticism of having a lot of dentists on board, um, for particularly dealing that department in therefore I am.
mm,
But I know where the strength of each experts lay, because if it has to be a hair and a skin analysis, I'd like to give it to medicos, allopathy doctors. See, the thing about cosmetology is even a salon therapist can call themselves as a cosmetologist. You need to define that field also a little more.
mm,
For us, for therefore I am, in the idea of being beautiful with the right signs, clearly stands with three quarters, like as in the procedures, products, the home care after that, and nutrition supplementations. So when it comes to procedures, we have four departments where we have four programs basically running in the system. That is skin restoration program and hair restoration program, that is predominantly taken care by the allopathy doctors. Then we have a contouring department, the facial contouring department, predominantly taken care by the dentist, because they're very good at it. They're very good with injectables.
Mm.
And then we do have a laser hair removal session that's been taken care by the technicians, but under the allopathy doctors. But then the next part of it, the home care products, like your shampoo and conditioners and moisturizer and all that. Honestly, both the allopathy doctors or the dentist just absolutely have no idea about it. I have been formally trained for cosmetic chemistry. We have an R&D department. We have formulators in Himachal, in the factory, and in Gujarat. They are the ones who can contribute to it. So they formulate the right products, and that's what is available in there for IM. So the product part of it, they don't have. But what happens here is the cosmetologist, so-called cosmetologists from a salon department or the salon industry, they also tend to speak about the products, which I don't think they're formally. You forget salon therapists. There are certain medical. What do we call those people? We don't entertain such category in our clinic.
Mm.
Those medical rep.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
okay.
medical. They come with the
Mm.
those certain cosmetics. They come with moisturizers of different brands, and then
Right.
they flip through the book and they say that, oh, this is very good, or this is good. I tend to ask them, so what exactly does this ingredient do? They don't know. It's
Okay.
all those system that they've been brain trained, or they've been sales trained
Mm.
to speak to us in a particular way. But it's important that I'm sure most of the dermatologists here wouldn't ideally know what exactly those formulations do, or
Mm.
what specifically certain ingredients do, and how do is it react with certain other ingredients, or is there any contraindication. No, I'm very, very sure that we've not been formally trained, including me. When I did my MSc dermatology or my MBBS, I was not never trained for cosmetic chemistry. So I got that qualification from US. Coming back to nutraceuticals again, which is a third biggest and the strongest arm of the Forium, we again have nutrition supplementations formulators. But Ayurvedic people actually can contribute a lot to that, because they're very good in understanding nutrition and how it affects our body and how our metabolism works and all that. So we do have dentists, we do have as in medicos, we also have Ayurvedic doctors on board, but they are for different reasons. It's not that we allow an Ayurvedic doctor to take a full control on the systems, but as and when when a client passes through certain journey of getting your concern rectified, you need to go through all these qualified systems. So that's how we work. But yes, it's unfortunate that I don't think much of the cosmetology centers work like this, or the
Mm.
aesthetic
Yeah.
clinics work like this. They have a particular way of seeing things. I have a classic example to give people. When like you are a medico yourself, so when we have a cyst
Mm.
at the same site, this is a classic example I give people.
Mm.
You go meet a dermat, they probably might give you a glycerin patch or maybe an ointment and all that. You go see the same cyst, the person goes and sees a general medicine doctor, they give you an antibiotic. But the same cyst, the same person goes to a surgeon, nick and drain.
Mm.
So you understood what we're talking
Yes,
about.
yes,
It's all the
totally.
same. It's
Mm.
all right. But depending on the degree of the concern or the severity of the concern, and what exactly is how it should be treated, is the call there.
Yeah.
So that is why we have everyone on board, and we do take a collective call on certain systems, but we definitely specifically handle each departments.
This is brilliant, really. I'm
Thank
very
you.
happy that you're doing it in a very holistic way that really benefits patients.
Yeah. So, for example, we don't shout out that we have a weight loss department, because weight loss. There's a lot of clinics that says, "Oh, this machine they bring on board and say that weight loss. No, weight loss doesn't happen that way. You need a nutritionist on board. You need somebody to physically train your body, and you need to correct your metabolism, lifestyle changes, maybe hormonal corrections, and all of that. So we try and keep it as ethical as possible. Let's see. It's not that you can't cheat people off now. It's all out there in Google. It's just that we genuinely put everything on table. We discuss with the clients. We inform the client well. I always tell my team, give them the right awareness. They might just go here and there. Eventually, they'll come back to you, because end of the day, stability matters, and clearly the right knowledge wins. So let's keep it right and honest. So I think therefore I'm is all about that. And going back to that, the other question, what you said, I think it resonates me. I
Mm.
try and keep it as honest as possible.
Yes. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to some questions of the new day and age. Let's talk about AI and social media.
Mhm.
So, what do you think is the impact of artificial intelligence in the medical field? What opportunities will it create, and how can we um, maximize the benefits and reach a top position in our career
With the
using the
AI,
AI?
did you
Yes.
specifically mean cosmetology or the field of medicine?
You
See,
can.
AI
Yes.
impacts every industry.
Right.
It's a precision. I think the data analytic part is where the AI comes into play.
Mm.
Like, for example, us, like, therefore, I was also planning to reach that stage. And
Right.
we had tied up with software company in Bombay to develop the AI system. And what happened was they wanted 10,000 images of each concern, is only
Mm.
when they can come up with certain data for the
Mm.
artificial intelligence to start picking up.
Mm.
So we still haven't reached at that point, is where we're still collecting data, but we haven't it's a long vision, but
Mm.
yes, we will be reaching there sometime real soon, I hope so.
Mm.
But yes, AI definitely will have a very strong impact
Mm.
in not just in aesthetic industry, but in every industry. It's to definitely cut short on human error. It
Mm.
is definitely to come into precise understanding of your concern, and also it also, I think, cut shorts on unwanted things. When I really feel that it can be really helpful in terms of giving you a precise diagnostic systems and precise understanding of the protocol that needs to be derived, precise understanding of the treatment results also, because we do have a system called oligoscan. We haven't duplicated across all our clinics yet, but it's there in the corporate office. We're still testing a lot of cases with it. Oligoscan is something that you don't need the blood. You conventionally don't have to take the blood out
Mm.
and get the readings. It is a photospectrometer. Like, it keeps, I think it's 4 or 6 points that machine detects your blood through the light, the photo,
Mm.
and
Right.
a spectrometer, and then it gives you an understanding of all the heavy metals to your vitamins and minerals and all of that.
Wow.
So what happens in that reading or the results is, they show you as a building blocks. They show you how much of zinc is present in your body. And for example, I can tell you about my results. The zinc in my body is 90% excess. So, and I still don't
Okay.
understand why is that, but
Okay.
my hair was still thinning out. That my hair was not
Yeah.
falling off, but it is still thinning out.
Mm.
But my zinc was not being utilized into the body. So the understanding out of that AI system, what was given to me is my folic acid was only 33% in the body.
Mm.
You need to increase your folic acid for the zinc to be absorbed in the body.
Right.
So such systems has to come on board, because I
Okay.
don't think doctors here really understands all that, because they tend to just write multivitamin,
Mm.
or they're like, okay, just have zinc, just have biotin, just have calcium. I think those are all. I think outside India, in the West, I don't think calcium alone is a prescription. You need to have calcium, magnesium, and zinc together, because I think that's how it works. Like glutathione, for that matter, you need to have a catalyst. Like vitamin C is the most commonest catalyst for the body to absorb glutathione. So those counter agents will also be provided with oligoscan systems.
Right.
So your nutrition is corrected in the right way, because when your nutrition system goes wrong, I think right from your aging to your skin and hair and your nails falling off, your mental conditions to your nervous system to everything gets corrected. So nutrition is a huge thing in the cosmetology business, but unfortunately the doctors are not trained here.
Mm.
But AI systems like these
Mm.
can be brought forward to these doctors, so you don't have to be formally trained. The system will just speak by itself. So I think, yes, the AI has to be brought on board
Yeah.
and it will have a huge
No,
impact.
that was pretty insightful. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Um, Talking about your social media presence, you have a very impressive presence in social media.
Do I?
Yes, you do. Yes, of course. You have a lot of
I don't
followers.
have much of followers. Look,
Oh, come
compared
on.
to a lot of influencers here, they have a lakh plus and all that. But yes, it's not a conscious decision of
Okay.
having certain followers. I think it's very organic
Yeah.
thing. I mean, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the
I
followers
mean,
have been kind.
influencers are becoming increasingly popular. So, what do you think is the role of social media in the life of a medical professional, both in professional life and in personal life?
For a medical person,
Yes.
I have never used my social media platform to professionally grow.
Okay.
Neither personally. No, I think because professionally, that's one complaint the office always has. I've been
Okay.
always trying to tell them that the brand has to grow beyond Dr. Nilofer.
Mm,
People still come and ask for me is not the right way to grow. There has been a set protocols that's been put in place, and I want my clients to have a uniform experience right from
mm,
Calicut, Trishur, Kochi, and Trivandrum clinics that we have. It's not easy for me to run around every centers. So there's been a process that's already been set. So for that to really work in place, um, the brand has to grow
mm,
beyond my name. So I have never used my social media platform per se to professionally grow. Touchwood, our retention, our client retention is amazing. I think we hardly advertise ourselves. I think our marketing department is not all that great. To we have you might have never seen our hoardings, and we don't even have SEOs. Come on, there's Google and things like that. We all know we are in this business and we know how it works. You can pay off for all these reviews. You can in fact buy followers. A couple of times I think I keep getting on my Instagram, pay so much, we can give you 100K plus followers. I wasn't very keen on having something like that on board. I would rather pick to or choose to grow organically.
mm,
So my social media, I think more or less, it's a lifestyle aspirational, or I think it's more of that influence
okay.
rather than I think shouting out my professional strength or about therefore I am. I think I think my office is definitely using my page right now to put out certain campaigns that we are doing. But if it was just me who was handling my page, I wouldn't have ever done it. I swear. I mean, so coming to I have never used it, but it
Mm,
is important. I think I have
yes.
been an idiot not using that, but I think it is very, very important. That platform, social media platform, is extremely strong.
Mm,
You need to use that.
mm,
But see, it's very difficult. Like I said, it's very difficult for me to be dishonest.
mm,
I cannot come up with a moisturizer and say that this is good for you. No, this has been formulated for gazillion people.
mm,
We need to customize it for you. We need to make sure that you're not using anything else. Let's say, for example, vitamin C for that matter.
mm,
If you're using a retinol, you can't use it.
mm,
There's so many other cosmetic ingredients that might react with vitamin C alone.
mm,
But let's say therefore I'm comes up with a vitamin C serum. It's like,
mm,
hey, it's fantastic. It works
mm,
wonderful for your skin, and it takes away hyperpigmentation. It's good for anti-aging. It doesn't work like that. If you have a dry skin, you probably would have to get some hydration on board and then use the vitamin C's. You need to stage it. And I always believe you can't use the same product 365 days. If I have
mm,
clients across everywhere, right from Canada to Australia, this type of a moisturizer that we have formulated might not be efficiently working for someone in a harsher climate. Y- so I tend to cannot just take this moisturizer and say, hey, it works. I can't do that.
mm.
And I don't think I'm that person who can dance around and do these stuffs. I can't do
The
it.
reels.
Oh my, I can't do it. I mean, every time a social media person or a brand comes on board saying that, doctor, you got to do this, I can't. I'm so sorry, I can't. So that's very bad of me. I think I really need to adapt myself to newer changes. I
Yes.
think it must be because I'm 40 years old and I can't relate to these younger people doing all this. I'm it's I think it's very bad. I really, maybe tomorrow if you see me dancing, you got to give me that thumbs up. Hey, doctor, you
Definitely,
you
I
got
will
you did
do
it.
that.
Finally, you did it. So
Definitely will do that.
social media, I think whatever I put out there in terms of my life or what I wear or where I travel or my family or sometimes about therefore I am. It's a mixed bag. And I don't
Mm,
think I particularly target on certain audience and put out things. It's not a conscious. I just post it for the sake of it. So professional, no, I haven't still used it, but I
mm,
will be.
mm.
But about for personal gain, I mean personal growth.
Yeah, personal growth.
No, I
Nice.
don't think social media. I mean, I don't want to be the child where I get to be the victim of social media. Like I don't. Everyone knows, I'm a retard when it comes to technology.
Mm,
I don't have other than WhatsApp and email. I don't have any app. I don't even have a YouTube app because I feel if you want to gain knowledge, I sort of read through certain journals in the web, in the internet. I sort of Google everything.
mm,
What I'm scared of is AI again.
mm.
So you tend to, I tend to lose a lot of time when I do this.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that instinct of mine. So I don't want to be using social media app, but I do use a lot of Google to gain information and understand what I need to. So
I completely understand this.
yeah.
I'm a caves person myself. I call myself that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Started
I'm very
Instagram
worried
2 weeks
about.
back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all right. I
Now you got
get
to be
you.
very careful about social
I
media.
know, I
It's
know.
because you're unknowingly being a victim of a lot of things.
Mm,
That's what all these e-com business does.
right.
You choose to purchase something,
Mm.
and then the next time you get another recommendation. You got to know where you got to stop. So I'm a
Yes.
little worried about that, whether AI would eat me up. So I'm still an old school that way. I'd like to read a lot of things, but
Mm.
not really a social media person.
Okay. Now let's move on to some light-hearted questions. I have heard that you enjoy deep sea diving
I
and find
do.
that as a great way to relax. So I
Hmm.
just want to ask you, what do you think about work-life balance and its importance in the life of a medical professional?
I'm less of a medical professional because I'm an entrepreneur, like
Mm,
I'm a business owner. Uh, I hope and pray that everyone starts a business of theirs own, so you wouldn't have time for anything. I don't have burnout phases much. Like
mm,
when you talk about work life balance,
mm.
like I have a very close friend who's an actress who's very successful, who is also our client. She keeps saying it's a myth. It's a myth. There's no work life balance, and I completely agree. And I don't
Maybe.
think there is a work life balance. But having said that, I run on a schedule. Like 3 weeks I'm here, and the fourth week I'm with the family in the Middle East. So I also have a lot of family in the EU. So I sort of have a very very strict schedule which is
Mm,
run by my office. So I do get my breaks.
mm.
So the minute I'm in the airport, my break starts. So I tend to go sleep well at in my home in Dubai. I spend some good time, like about 3 to 4 days every month with my family. I also try and not take. I prioritize my work.
Mm,
Then I also try only entertain certain important questions from the office. So that's the measures that I take
mm.
to unwind.
Right.
But I am a very outdoor person. I love certain sport activity. I'm a total beach person. But I don't have much of a burnout because I love my job. I love what I'm doing. I think I'm in the business of making people beautiful. It's very rewarding. I meet
Yeah.
a lot of interesting people. I'm interacting with my office. We be with the marketing team and be with the customer care and understanding what the client consumption pattern is, or understanding what the client challenges are. So you're always in the challenging environment.
Mm,
So you're trying and solving all that thing is very. I love it. So I think because you love your job, there's not much of a burnout phase. Having said that, I do. I'm also that CEO who sits and cries in the office. I can shamelessly admit that, I do have that breakdown, and there are certain people who come and say that I think it's time to dive. There are certain people who come and say that, okay, go. I think you just need to be underwater, and
mm.
then when you come back, you'll have a clear sense. I mean, there are certain
Nice.
people, well wishers in the office, who understand certain burnout phases of mine. And then, yes, I do take my break. And luckily, I have been fortunate enough to travel out of India into the West and the Far East and all that. So that's how I balance. So my
Okay.
work life balance happens that way, but it's definitely a definition, I think, of mine. I
Mm,
don't think that might fit to
mm,
your audience.
mm.
The work
It's all
life
right.
balance is
Yeah.
completely a design that you
Yes.
do in your life.
Mm.
You got to pick that balance.
Yes, that's true. Yes. You are called the supercar lady of Kerala. I
My
saw that
God.
interview
Yeah,
by
yeah.
Mr. Baiju, and you you own so many great cars. And I just want to ask you, I
I'm not a
feel that.
motorhead. If that is what your question is
Yeah,
going to
that
be,
is my
I
question.
am not a motorhead.
You
It's
are
funny
not?
that people actually celebrate when I have been trying to tell that, and that's one of those. Does that also mean that it's coming to an end of our interview? Because that's exactly what people ask me towards the end about my cars. It's
Really?
funny that I am not one. I do drive
Okay.
well, so
Okay.
I think I do have certain intelligence to come across certain challenges in life.
Mm,
Nothing is rocket science for me, is what I always claim, that if you want to excel in something, you
mm,
can do it. You just have to build the skill set for it. And I think during your teens, when you're going to the college,
mm,
those are one of those things that my mother said, you
mm,
got to know how to drive,
mm,
you got to learn how to cook, those things makes you very independent.
mm,
So knowing how to swim, knowing how to drive your car, are all those independent indexes
mm,
that a woman should have,
mm,
women own,
mm,
is what my mom told me.
mm.
So I basically started driving, but I think I started driving cable cars much before I, like, you go to the amusement park and you start
Yeah, yeah,
driving,
yeah,
as in
sure.
cable cars.
Mm,
Then when you grow, then you are in the cart systems. You sort of drive those better cars than the cable cars. And then
really?
I think my dad started giving me cars, because he's an engineer. He's a civil
Okay.
engineer, so
Okay.
he used to have those sites, far away from
Mm,
the cities. And
mm,
then he used to give me those cars um in those abandoned places where he used to have his sites. So he used to teach me, this is how you drive and all that. So there was an interest,
mm,
but I have absolutely no technical knowledge on the cars. You speak about certain horsepowers and all that. No, I've been very honest saying that I
mm,
don't know.
mm,
There are certain magazines who come to cover it up, saying that, listen, I am not the right person, because I
okay.
don't know, and I can't fake it. I really wish I knew how to fake a lot of things. I would have really excelled a lot of other things as well. So, but then I think I can only be confident in things that I know.
Mm.
Unfortunately, in automobile industry, I might break a lot of people's heart, but yes, I can only drive well. I think I
Oh,
can drive really well, because
mm,
I've actually got compliments from
mm,
great these instructors who's come to F1 circuits and all that. Because I own a couple of brands.
mm,
These brands take us to these driving tracks,
mm,
and they have these drivers from the west coming, these F1 drivers and all that coming, so they have actually given me compliments, as when I also started understanding, like, okay, maybe I'm good at it. I'm really good at certain, aspect of driving,
mm.
and I have a great control on my wheels, is what I understand. But coming to the technical aspect of it, no, not really. I just have to get a car, and I know that, oh, this is really good and this is where it stands. I know how the brake functions on, I understand that system. But
Okay. Yeah.
not
Okay.
not really. Yeah, yeah, I
You
have to be
answered my
honest. Yeah,
question. Yes. Okay. Moving on to your clients. You have so many celebrity and high profile
yeah,
clients.
touch
So, do
wood.
you want to share any extraordinary stories with us and tell us some suggestions that we would want to incorporate into our lives?
As in the protocols that I give to my high profile clients, or the
Yes.
celebrities, like the actors and people in the show
Yes.
business. No, it's not any different from what I give to people of other walks in life. So it's like, so we train the skin. How different are we when compared to other cosmetology clinics? Is we don't have this 4+1 free PRP, or you need to do so many sessions. No, we don't work like that, because funnily, it doesn't work that way. So people claim that you do 4 to 5 sessions of PRP, it's going to work, you're going to have great hair. No, it doesn't work that way.
Mm,
Let's say you put a lot of PRP, you do a lot of sessions of PRP on your scalp. What if your root does not have any sort of vitamin D and biotin and zinc, or whatever the vitamins that needs to go into there,
mm,
or protein source and all that? The hair is not going to grow. So you're going to totally waste on your 4 sessions of
mm,
PRP. So we tend to have this program based system. We also have something called client mapping system, where we always say that, let's say you and I are of the same age, and we do a hydrofacial today on the same day. The 10th day we end up in with two different results.
mm,
What products or what climatic exposure, my hormonal problems wouldn't be yours, so your genes wouldn't be like mine,
mm,
so there's a lot
mm,
of factors that comes into play, environmental and stress, and the products that you use, and a lot of it. So we need to customize everything for them. So we customize how they have to have the
mm,
journey with their products, with the protocols that you need to follow with the clinic, and how well you need to have your nutrition supplementations, how we need to keep changing it time and time. So that's very different for everyone. So I don't treat, because let me be extremely honest, all the celebrities pay in our clinic.
mm,
If that none of the celebrities there's no freebie in our clinic, because I think it's important to respect my work, and it's important that they understand how far we are in ahead of technology and process, and they should value the system that we deliver for them, and that definitely should come with a price. So there are a lot of influencers and actors who get called from other clinics. They've been extremely transparent to me, showing the messages what other clinics message, saying that, hey, listen, we'll give you a freebie here.
okay,
But I definitely encourage them to go, is
mm,
also because, let's say you're getting a hair removal laser.
mm,
I know specifically there are certain machines of good clinics here who are my competitors, who has parked great machines, that I like, if they're the ones who's calling, go, because we're going to charge you. You can probably go get your laser hair removal done there, but they definitely call me up and ask for the energy. They definitely ask what sort of a laser that, so they discuss with me. You want to save money, not an issue at all, but understand there has to be certain technology that has to come on board for you to have results. If other brands offer that, why not? That's okay. But they are very confident that they definitely do that. We have a lot of actors and influencers. They do get certain systems from other clinics, but for technical work or
mm,
for things that really matters, we've always had our clients sticking to us. So but then, so that's exactly what we do also,
mm,
but there are certain like when people, there are certain people,
mm,
a very small, when a very young boy, the other day, this he saw me on the road and he came running, said, hey, it's you. And then we have a brand that we shouts out something about Kochi,
mm,
and we'd like to gift it to you and all that.
mm,
So I am very worried to put certain things on to my pages also,
mm,
because if at all, if there is something that I have to give a shout out to, it has to be really good, because it's also an influencing. So I
yes,
would definitely want my audience to get authentic informations from me. So I said, okay, come over to the office and things like that. He bought that product. It's very good, and he was actually speaking to me and. A very senior team member in the system, and saying that, oh, this is how we do it, and then he's selling it for a dead cheap price. After he left, I really felt bad for him, because that business model might not be viable in our system. The
right,
product is fantastic, and he's like, no, it's free, you don't
mm,
have to pay. I said, no, don't do that. I have to pay. I'm still going to give you a shout out if the
mm,
product is good.
yeah,
That's how I'd like to influence my system.
mm,
That's how it should be.
yes,
So so coming back to your previous question about
mm,
social media,
mm,
how I use that,
yes,
at the same time, to your present question, what do I give to my clients? So it's you guys are not any different, and I'm not any different with any show business people who's
mm,
coming, or any high profile client who's coming on board. We definitely train your mind, or train your skin
mm,
to act a particular way to all environmental conditions, and that's how stable our results are. So that's how our system works. It's not a conventional cosmetology clinic. We
mm,
have our own line of products. We have our own line of nutrition supplement. We are a full house.
mm,
So it's very easy to deliver a system. It's just that we need to train you guys.
mm, right,
Yeah.
okay. You have shared a vision of establishing an educational institute to train young minds.
Hmm.
There's a trend nowadays where a youth is moving abroad to pursue their studies or pursue their careers. What do you feel about this kind of a trend? What is the reality behind it? Is it for the best, maybe? And what will be the future?
Like as in the students flying out of India.
Correct.
Oh my God, it's. I mean, if I have to be honest, uh,
You
I'd
can
like
be
to be
honest.
socially responsible as well. I don't want to put out certain informations where I say, Yeah, no, stick to this place has
Mm,
great opportunity. Like,
mm,
say, come on, you and I know this place is not really of does not offer much opportunities. The productivity or the professionalism in the system that I am in is pretty bad. That which is exactly one of the challenges, that we are not able to grow beyond certain brackets.
mm,
Human resources again, talents, skills, everything lacks here, and we're a bit of an old school. We need to have newer system, and I think maybe certain part of an education you can probably stick to our environment
mm,
and technology based studies, and there are more advanced system that you need to be exposed to. But let me put it across this way. Let me be socially responsible and tell you that
yes.
yes, you need to step out,
Mm,
but bring all the system that you've learned and was exposed to back to India.
yeah.
So that way you
Like
can,
you did.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I did.
Yes.
I always wanted to make a mark in the
Mm,
place that I belong to.
mm,
And I would enjoy the that's the recognitions definitely makes you, you make that's it's a very happy moment when you
mm,
know that uh, the people around you, the
mm,
people whom you it really matters, appreciates the hard work and the long way that you've come. So I think that was why I was here, but I would have definitely made more money, made more name, or my brand would have grown into X, if I was outside this environment. I have to be
right.
honest. But yes, kids, please step out and have all the exposure that you want. Yes, definitely the other systems, and definitely gives you better understanding of growth,
Okay.
and come back to India and provide the best you can.
Okay. Just one final question. Uh, Many youth, doctors, nurses, and other professionals have big, big dreams of establishing themselves well, reaching a great position in their career, but they often get caught up in life struggles and they give up. So, what inspiration does Dr. Nilufer Sheriff wants to symbolize? What do you want to tell these people?
Our newest campaign is all about that. You decide you. That's it. You got to
Okay.
decide you. You got to design your life. See, struggles, uh, life struggles. I think I need more of a quantifying understanding of that. Like, I
Mm,
understand what you're saying,
mm,
because a lot of times, there are a lot of girls, younger girls, who has
mm,
written to me saying that it's very easy for you to speak about how you've come across certain challenges because you come from a certain privileged background, or you haven't come across certain challenges and all that. No, it's not true. Challenges and setbacks comes in different forms to different people. You need to be extremely be passionate about your life,
mm,
yourself.
mm.
You need to have that sort of a love towards yourself. It's only then when you're going to excel. So if at all, if I have to inspire,
Mm.
not just women per se, a lot of men messages me asking for career advices and life advices and all that. I'm not that monk and that guru who speaks about
You're
inspiration. The
not.
littlest that I have come, facing a lot of personal and professional challenges, there is only one formula for success, be it in your personal growth or professional. You read any books, or you listen to any podcasts, or you see a lot of Instagram reels, it all shout outs the same: hard work, consistency, being focused at your own path, um, time management, routine, discipline, um, being staying calm. I think developing your skills time and time, being able to adapt yourself to changes. You learn something and just don't stick to it. You need to
Yeah.
develop your own system to adapt. So these are all indexes that's out there. Just pick and apply it to your life. Everyone will grow. Everyone will grow. So inspiration is design your life. You're dreaming of a particular life. It is possible, no matter what background you come from. If you want, you can do it.
That's beautiful. I think you're a very bold and strong woman, and you have inspired me. That,
Thank you. You've been
yeah.
kind.
So, we have reached the end of our session today. Thank you so much, Dr. Nilufer Sheriff, on behalf of myself and RX Global. I thank you for coming and sharing these insights with us. Thank you so
Pleasure
much.
was all mine.
Thank you
Thank you
so
and good
much.
luck.
Thank you.